Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about some of the advice I have for AffiloJetPack and Affilorama members. So if you're watching this video, then you've either purchased Blueprint, JetPack, or you're considering, or maybe you're just interested in affiliate marketing and online business in general. Regardless, this would be my advice as someone who has dabbled in affiliate marketing for some time now. Remember that these will be my opinions and they're not set in stone. There will mainly be things I wish I knew earlier, so in a sense this video is kind of for myself, recapping the things I've learned and wish I knew sooner. So let's get started. So my first piece of advice is that you need to understand and ask yourself why you're doing this and what your goals are. You have to be very specific as well. Things like money, time, passive income aren't good enough. How do you intend to achieve these goals? So let's say you want to build an online business so you can generate passive income so you have more freedom. How do you intend to do that? The problem is if you don't have specific goals, you'll start falling for what we call shiny object syndrome. So shiny object syndrome is where you jump from one opportunity to another without giving that first opportunity enough of a try, enough effort into it. So in our example, let's say you start with affiliate marketing. You put some effort into that and then all of a sudden you see this ad talking about a YouTube course that can teach you how to build your own YouTube channel. And you think, hey, I can make money building my YouTube channel as well. And all of a sudden you go towards that and you start working on the affiliate marketing. So you've jumped to another opportunity because it's shiny, it's new, instead of finishing what you already started. Now let's say you're working on that YouTube course and all of a sudden you think, you know what, this isn't working as well. And then you see another ad for creating a podcast. Well, a podcast can give you the same results. So you jump to that as well. And you end up doing this whole jumping around thing. I'm sure you can see what I'm getting at here, without giving anything enough of an effort because you don't know what you're trying to achieve. All of these different courses, all these different ways, all these different business models can help you achieve passive income or making more money and getting you that freedom you want. So without having specific goals, it's very difficult to focus, which is why it's so important. So let me give you an example. Let's say I start with affiliate marketing to learn how to drive traffic and build an email list. After that, I'll build my own fitness website with my brand and my personality using the list building skills I've learned from practicing affiliate marketing. And that's going to allow me to create my own audience because I'm going to list build on that fitness site and then I'll create a product for that audience. I'm not sure what that product will be. It could be an ebook, it could be an online course, it could be a number of different things. But that gives me much more clarity on what I want to achieve. So while I'm working on the affiliate marketing stuff, if a YouTube course or a podcast course or anything comes along, I won't be distracted. I won't want to jump for the shiny object because I know what I want to do. I have a specific goal. That's why it's important to have a specific goal. Okay, so let's move on to my second piece of advice, which is to use AffiloJetPack and Affilorama as training wheels for whatever it is you want to achieve. Let's first take a look at whether or not building an AffiloJetPack site is a sustainable business model. Now, in my opinion, it isn't, and the reason I believe this is because a lot of the materials are given to you. So for example, you get the free ebook, the newsletters, that's all done for you. So there's no branding, like your personal brand or your personality to that. So because of that, I actually think the Affilo Blueprint training is actually a lot more valuable because it takes you through step by step. And when you create that ebook, it's your own personal ebook. You write that yourself, or you can outsource it, but it's yours. It's branded towards you, as well as the newsletters that you write yourself. And you learn a lot more skills through that because with the JetPack, a lot of that is done for you. However, having said all of that, there is still a lot of value in the AffiloJetPack, and that value is because you get to skip the beginning parts like the writing, the ebooks and the newsletters, and you get to go straight into driving traffic and building an email list. So you can focus primarily on learning how to drive traffic to your website and how to build an email list. I personally believe that building an AffiloJetPack site or building multiple sites isn't a sustainable long-term business. It isn't like your retirement plan or a way to give you that life you want. So I suggest using this whole process as training wheels and practice for whatever it is that you truly want to achieve, specifically because through this process you can learn a lot about list building and driving traffic. Alright, so on to my next piece of advice, which is to use your first niche site as a trial run. So that's similar to my last piece of advice. The idea is you want to use your first site as a learning process, and don't worry if things aren't perfect. By that I mean, the content doesn't have to be perfect. The fonts don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect website design, the perfect images. You just want to get something out there and then improve on it on a later date. And on that note, don't worry if your first site doesn't succeed. It's actually more likely that it won't because you'll be learning so many new things that you don't know how to do. You'll probably make mistakes. But as long as you go in with the mindset that you're not worried if it doesn't succeed and you're learning from it, you can take everything you learn and improve on your next site. Another thing to note is that you don't want to go in with a perception and the expectation that your first site is going to change your financial life. It really isn't going to. So on that note, the idea is you want to use this as a practice run. Same as what I just said before in the last piece of advice. With this mentality, you won't be as nervous if things don't go well immediately. Okay, so moving on to my fourth piece of advice, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. You have to be willing to do things that you aren't comfortable with. So for example, when it comes to driving traffic, there are different ways you can do that. Some of them involve things like YouTube videos and Kindle ebooks. You might be like, you know what, I'm not really comfortable putting myself out there, putting my face out there on YouTube to drive traffic. Well, it doesn't matter. You might be thinking, I can't write a book, I'm not good with words. Well, it doesn't matter. You have to be willing to do things that you're not comfortable with, otherwise you'll always be where you are. There's a really good quote in the Kung Fu Panda film that says, if you only do what you can do, you'll never be more than what you are now. So if you look at it in this sense, right, if you're not willing to commit and you're not willing to do things outside your comfort zone, like make a YouTube video or write a book and try to drive traffic, well, your list is never going to grow. It's always going to be where it is and you're never going to achieve anything. Okay, so my fifth piece of advice is anything worth having takes time to achieve. Overnight successes don't exist. You got to go into this with the correct mindset, which hopefully this video is helping you to achieve. You got to use your emotions correctly and turn your emotions into motion. So I don't know why you're doing this, but it might be because you don't like a job, you're having financial difficulties, you want to make more money. You might get frustrated from time to time because things aren't working as well, but you got to turn that emotion into motion. Take your frustration and do something with it. Not negatively, but work on your business more, work harder. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So what that means is it's not about just throwing all your energy in one go and you're done. No, it's about doing that day in, day out consistently if you want to see results. My next piece of advice is that you need to be able to adapt and take action accordingly. Things will change, the online space will change, and you must be able to adapt. Some things may be set in stone, but things will change. So like, for example, creating high quality content is always going to be something that's important in my opinion, but a lot of other things will change, and if you don't adapt, you will fall behind. There'll be big changes and small changes. So for example, like with SEO, if you're doing that, that's like search engine optimization with Google. Every time they change the algorithm, the whole world goes into, well, the SEO world goes into a panic and a frenzy because they don't know what's going on. They're like, oh, my site's going to fail. You have to be willing to adapt and be able to adapt depending on what the changes are. The hand-holding mentality must go. What I mean by this is you've got to get out of your head where you think you can just follow a course step by step and you will succeed. That nothing's going to be left to your initiative or your choices. And one of the main things I mean by this is, like, let's say you're on this course, AffiloJetPack, and you're watching a video about how to drive traffic using YouTube. Well, they might show you how to set up a video, but by the time you do it, YouTube might have updated and it won't be the same anymore. The buttons they tell you to press might not be there. And, well, at that point, you got to kind of decide, well, are you going to freak out and go to the course owner and be like, oh, hey, it's not there anymore. You said you're going to hold my hand. Now I'm stuck here. Or are you just going to use your initiative and overcome the obstacles yourself? Alright guys, so we've come to the end of the video where I'm just going to briefly recap all the pieces of advice I gave. The first one is having vague goals will lead you to fall for shiny object syndrome. So you got to have some clarity and clarify your goals and understand what it is you want to achieve. Like I said, things like making money, having passive income, building an online business, they aren't specific enough. You got to go a lot further. So in terms of everything I'm doing with AffiloJetPack and Affilorama and just affiliate marketing in general, all of that is a learning process to me. I'm not focused on the end result. I'm focusing on mastering list building and driving traffic. Thirdly, I want to talk about how I'm doing things outside of my comfort zone, like I told you that you should do. This video itself is an example, and this whole kind of series is my first time doing YouTube videos. As you can probably tell, the quality is not the best, but I'm putting myself out there, and I'm going to work on improving along the way. I'm not sitting there and thinking, oh, you know, I don't have the best microphone, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't want to risk this or that. I'm just going to do it and then improve. I also understand that achieving my goals will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen next month or in 2 months. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So take the first step now, and that's the end of this video, and I hope that my advice helps you along the way.